The Epcot International Food and Wine Festival presents your taste buds.
So, shrimp, are you spicier than me? Like a jalapeno? Habanero? Serrano?
That's gonna leave a mark.
Love can burn you, my friend.
Welcome back to Expedition Theme Park. On this week's expedition, we'll be heading back to Epcot and taking a look at the history of one of the most popular annual events at Walt Disney World. This ever-growing food festival is one of the most popular in the US, attracting guests from all over the world to experience its food stalls, culinary seminars, and special guest chef talks. Before we look at this though, we must look at the origins of this extremely popular festival. Back in the mid-90s, Disney faced a problem with park attendance. Disney was mostly seen as a summer vacation resort and struggled to attract visitors during the fall. The period between the end of summer and Thanksgiving at Epcot continuously showed an attendance decline, and park higher-ups needed to do something about it.
Please welcome the Vice President of Epcot from 1995 through the Millennium Celebration, and today the President of the Walt Disney World Resort, George A. Kalogridis.
The Vice President of Operations at Epcot at the time was George Kalogridis, who had been a cast member at Disney before Walt Disney World even opened. This name may be somewhat familiar to Disney fans, as he's currently the president of the entire Walt Disney World Resort and has been since 2013.
I promise you, the exciting plans we have on the horizon will honor Epcot's rich legacy of creativity, innovation, while continuing to exceed the expectations of our guests for decades to come.
George needed to fill the slow season with something that would entice Disney fans into the parks. He took inspiration from a few places before introducing the International Food and Wine Festival to Epcot. In the 80s, Disney had held a smaller event called the Walt Disney World Village Wine Festival, which was located in what is now known as Disney Springs. George thought what better place to expand this vision than at Epcot, which was such a food and beverage driven location anyway. He also noticed how in 1982 the owners of Time hosted a new event in Aspen, Colorado called the Food and Wine Classic. It quickly grew to become a prestigious and globally renowned event, which saved them from financial difficulties. George noticed how quickly the event had grown and thought that Epcot's World Showcase would be an even better location for a food and wine exhibition. His initial thoughts for the Epcot event were to have each country around the World Showcase exhibit special temporary menus for the event, in a bid to drive back Disney guests into the park. His last source of inspiration was from a nearby event located at the Hilton Orlando Lake Buena Vista. The event started in 1994 and was called the Vintage Grand Tasting, hosted by ABC Fine Wine and Spirits, and provided 2 days of wine tasting and concluded with a large party. This event took place in October and boosted the Hilton's room occupancy rates throughout the month, which was a notoriously slow period for the hotel. George felt that this proved that the Food and Wine Festival at Epcot would be a success, but on a much larger scale. And so, in the fall of 1996, 1 year after the first year of Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party, the first Epcot International Food and Wine Festival was born. Starting out with a relatively modest, at least compared to current standards anyway, 30 days. Most of the current Epcot pavilions had an extra marketplace to showcase some new food items and beverages, but there were also some new stands for countries not situated within the World Showcase, such as Argentina that showcased beef empanadas and Argentinian Malbec, Greece that served local foods as well as various Greek wines, and Poland who served up Polish sausages and beer. These stalls have returned to the park each year, and you can actually see underneath each food stall which year the booth was introduced to the festival. One of the most popular additions to the early Food and Wine Festival was the Canadian Marketplace, that serves some of the most popular items from its difficult to get into restaurant, Le Cellier. It offered guests the chance to sample its Canadian cheese soup and its wild mushroom beef filet mignon. Special guest celebrity chefs were also invited to the event who would provide seminars. Guest cooking shows and other wine tasting and culinary events were also offered. One addition during the first event that has stuck around year-round since was the introduction of the miniature train set on display in the Germany Pavilion. It was a special edition that was supposed to only be on display just for the event, but has remained operating for 22 years. Guests would not need to pay an extra ticket for the Food and Wine Festival, and would just need entrance to Epcot to attend, which still remains true to this day, though there are extra paid-for offerings such as tastings and seminars throughout. The first years were trial runs to gauge how popular the event would be. Disney did not want to overload guests with options to become intoxicated, so needed to find a balance between attracting food and wine enthusiasts but also not impacting on the Disney's family appeal. The Food and Wine Festival would return each year, offering 30 days of the festival. In the year 2000, Disney offered the chance for guests to enjoy the tastes of 30 nations over the 30 days, and it was used as a marketing campaign.
Savor unique foods and fine wines from over 25 different countries at the Epcot International Food and Wine Festival. It's a culinary and cultural exchange.
Disney higher-ups were starting to see proof of the draw of the festival, and were able to rely on celebrity chefs to really help sell the idea. In some of the earlier years, chefs such as Julia Child, Rick Bayless, and Bobby Flay all featured. They offered seminars and training sessions and would often sell out. The festival had continued to grow up until 2001. The tragic events of September 11th caused all of the celebrity chefs to cancel their attendance at the event. This did give Disney company chefs the chance to run most of the chef panels, and seminars, and guests that did attend the event were impressed with what they saw. The effects of 9/11 were felt across the tourism sector and is acknowledged as the reason for the lower than expected attendance in 2001. This, however, caused Disney to add a new approach for the festival in 2002 and added two new parts of the event that have stuck around to today: Eat to the Beat concert series and Party for the Senses. Eat to the Beat is a concert series that takes place in the American Adventure Pavilion and on the American Gardens Theatre stage. Disney would pay for acts to perform 3 times a night during the festival, usually for 2 to 4 nights. This tradition is still in effect in the current festival schedule. During the 2002 event, 6 artists who played the Eat to the Beat series were Chubby Checker, The Fifth Dimension, The Temptations, Sister Sledge, Mary Wilson of the Supremes, and Little Anthony and the Imperials. Some of the acts scheduled to appear in 2018 include Smash Mouth, The Plain White Tees, The Baha Man, and resident favourites Boyz II Men, who appear most years and go down brilliantly. Blake Shelton even featured during Eat to the Beat in 2004 before he would go on to be one of the most famous country musicians in the US. The other new feature of the 2002 festival was Party for the Senses, which is a Saturday night party taking place within the large World Showplace conference room located between the Canada and UK Pavilion. This large building was introduced for the Millennium Celebration at Epcot, but we'll be taking a look at that on a future expedition. Party for the Senses gives guests the chance to dress up for a grand party with the opportunity to taste some of the food and drinks from the festival, dance, and be entertained by a variety of different performances and DJs. This event has also featured yearly since its introduction, even featuring the cast of Cirque du Soleil's L'Anuba as entertainment in the 2008 event. This event is separately ticketed though and does sell out quickly.
Epcot Food and Wine Festival is the place to be this fall. Come ready to taste around the world and make your own culinary memories.
As the festival continued to grow, 2005 saw the addition of its first Run Disney event. Race for the Taste was a 10K race that went from the ESPN Wide World of Sports complex to Hollywood Studios and then ended with the finish line at Epcot. Runners were able to sample some of the food of the festival at the post-race picnic before the park opened for guests. 2007 saw the Wonders of Life Pavilion become the festival center. This place will be the home to the demonstrations, seminars, hands-on activities, and shops. Look out for more information on Wonders of Life though in an upcoming Expedition Epcot, coming soon. After adding more food marketplaces throughout the event towards the end of the 2000s, the event was becoming increasingly popular. 2010 saw the introduction of the Disney Wine and Dine Half Marathon, replacing the Race for Taste, but guests were still given a post-race party which could be ran as late as 4 a.m. In 2017, the event lasted for 75 days, over double the original 1996 amount, and featured 32 musical acts, 197 guest chefs, and 35 global marketplaces.
And we are so excited to be here with all of you and our good friends Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse.
5 events of the popular cooking TV show The Chew were recorded live at Epcot on a special stage and featured 5 Party for the Senses nights. There doesn't seem to be any sign of this annual event slowing down anytime soon.
Is the Super Bowl of festivals.
And we're taking you backstage where the tastiest ingredients come together for Epcot's annual Food and Wine Festival.
2018 event is the 23rd annual event and runs from August the 30th until November the 12th. It will see the return of the usual events, new food marketplaces, a new concert series, and more family fun such as the Ratatouille hide-and-seek scavenger hunt taking place around World Showcase, where you hunt for Remy hiding in different locations. One thing this year I can't wait to try is the new Guinness Bailey's milkshake from the Ireland booth.
Hey, you don't have to cut those up. There's no apples on that recipe.
Okay.
Are you heading to Food and Wine this year? And what's your favourite thing to try at the festival? Let us know in the comments below. Thank you so much for joining us on Expedition Epcot. Be sure to follow us on Twitter for updates on upcoming expeditions, and we will see you next time.